After a decade of commercial operations, the wholesale electricity spot market, or WESM, continues to illuminate the lives of Filipino consumers. At the same time, it empowers generation companies to offer their capacities, resulting in competition and transparency. This year is unprecedented as we see an upward trend in generation supply in the market. Ample supply persisted, except on notable occasions.
Demand levels continued to increase in the past year of WESM operations covering the period July 2016 to June 2017. This period witnessed a new all-time high for the system demand that was recorded at 11,830 megawatts on May 19, 2017. Unlike last year's significant jump of 10.6%, this year's peak demand saw an increase of 3.5% based from last year's peak demand of 11,434 megawatts. Demand levels in the Luzon Visayas all reached an all-time high of 10,022 megawatts on May 9, 2017 and 1,894 megawatts on June 1, 2017 respectively.
Coal and natural gas contributed approximately more than half of the generation produced in the Luzon and Visayas grids.
Regarding the generation mix, coal-fired plants and nat gas plants accounted for about 3/4 of the total generation mix. Coal plants in Luzon and Visayas accounted for almost one-half of the generation mix. The output of natural gas plants were sporadic, whereas the generation of geothermal plants was consistent. The contribution of RE plants were high during the period November 2016 to February 2017. And out of the RE plants, the majority of the mix came from the wind farm plants.
Now on its 11th year of operating the electricity exchange in the country, Philippine Electricity Market Corporation, or PEMC, presents 11 reasons why WESM is brighter at 11. The MMS is the market clearing engine that contains enhancements in the WESM design, such as shortening of dispatch interval, economic scheduling of minimum stable load, or PMIN, and adoption of ex-ante pricing only, among others. These aim to address market operational audit findings and introduce new features and functionalities.
The new market management system is currently on parallel run with the existing market management system, which is being used now by the market operators. This uses the live information coming from the system operators' energy management system and the offline data such as outage schedules of transmission lines and generators and security limits. But the schedules and prices produced by the new market management system are not yet binding, and they will only be so upon the commercial operation of the new MMS, which is expected to happen sometime this year. The new market management system brings about many benefits to the trading participants, and these new enhancements to the system were in fact requested by the participants themselves.
PEMC started the trial runs of the Central Registration and Settlement System, an information technology system that aims to streamline and automate market processes. Together with a new MMS, it shall implement major enhancements in the market design, particularly the calculation of settlement amounts.
Basically, we are now undergoing trial operations in parallel with the operations of the new market management system. So basically, we want all the stakeholders, participants to be familiar with the functionality of the CRSS, wherein one major functionality is the online registration process and application requests. The participants will now be able to register on the system online, process the application requests, and monitor the status of their request. The system will provide them notification or email regarding the actual status of the assessment and approval.
At number 3, as the market evolves and tries to innovate, PEMC is looking into reforms in governance processes.
For the implementation of the enhanced WESM design, which we expect probably by early next year, the ECO has taken initiatives to make changes as well in the enforcement and compliance processes in the WESM. Because the penalty system that we have now was promulgated way back in 2008, and it was designed around a 1-hour dispatch interval, and we feel that that is no longer appropriate under a shorter dispatch interval setting. More importantly though, we hope to have a penalty system that will lend more transparency into the process. What we are proposing to introduce is to have a penalty manual that already maps out the obligation of WESM trading participants and the compliance standards that apply, as well as spell out already what acts or omissions can constitute a breach and the corresponding penalties for that. Along with that, we will be introducing an application in the new market management system. We call it the Compliance Monitoring Module that will allow generation trading participants to monitor in real time their compliances with their obligations, particularly in the schedule and dispatch processes.
Number 4, more competitive prices. Learnings have come into fruition as the market evolves toward a more efficient and robust platform for trading of electricity. During the covered period, the effective settlement spot price, or the average price paid by wholesale customers for energy bought in the electricity market, is 3.1 pesos per kilowatt hour. As the market monitor, the Market Assessment Group is tasked to assess the competitiveness of the spot market by employing a set of monitoring indices.
Assessing the competitiveness of the spot market now, normally we start using Hertzman Pendle Index or HHI as one of the assessment tools in determining the presence of competition in the WESM, and is complemented by Market Share Index to provide an indication on potential market participants or the potential ability of certain firms to control or influence market outcome. As indicated by the HHI, the market has evolved since the commencement of the WESM in 2006. The market began as a highly concentrated market. It gradually progressed into a moderately concentrated market by 2011, with the WESM facilitating the entry of larger number of new players. Registered capacity as of June 2017 was recorded at 17,748 megawatts, with around 1,300 megawatts accounting for renewable energy capacities. Majority of the market share was held by 4 major participants, which accounts for around 62.5% or around 2/3 of the total registered capacity. It should be noted, however, that those structural indices only account for spot market transactions and do not include the other supply-side transactions such as bilateral contracts, provision of for ancillary services, feed-in tariff arrangement, which are settled outside the market.
At number 5, the resulting prices resulted in customer confidence. Total transactions for the 12-month period from July 2016 to June 2017 amounted to 69,813 gigawatt hours, which is higher than last year's 66,783 gigawatt hours. The past year registered a large amount of energy quantity being transacted in the spot market. In fact, 16.3% of the total energy quantity for the entire period from July 2016 to June 2017 was settled in the spot market. In January 2017, the highest customer exposure was reached at 23%, wherein wholesale customers sourced 23% of their electricity requirements from the electricity bourse. And at number 6, this year marked the trial operations of WESM Mindanao. Capacity buildings, dialogues, and information dissemination services are currently undergoing to ensure the readiness of Mindanao participants in a WESM design of scheduling and dispatch of generating capacities.
Number 7, the completion of the study on the electricity derivatives market. Essentially, the electricity derivatives market will be available for all the trading participants in the Philippines for hedging and risk management mitigation purpose. The risk I'm referring to is the varying market prices in the WESM, which is a result of the demand and supply condition of electricity in the grid. PEMC, with the assistance of Nord Pool Consulting, recently concluded the first stage of the market development of the electricity derivatives market and strategize the phase-in market development considering the Philippine context.
Number 8, with a mandate of accelerating the integration of renewable energy resources in the WESM and in compliance with the Renewable Energy Act, PEMC transmitted to the Department of Energy the draft Renewable Energy Market Rules that shall be the venue for the trading of RE certificates. Customers now have the option to source electricity requirements from registered suppliers. PEMC has been performing customer switching from one supplier to another, as well as business-to-business system to handle switching requirements in the retail market.
We have seen a significant growth in the number of contestable customers during the period, more than doubled in comparison to its number during June 2016. With those supplier and contestable customer interaction, the concentration of the market went from highly concentrated to moderately concentrated market.
At number 10, continuing in PEMC's thrust of transparency, several initiatives on public information have been launched, such as the WESM mobile application, which contains real-time information on prices, demand, and generation mix, among others, and the soon-to-be-launched trading simulation applications, Game & Watts. And at number 11, PEMC continues its culture of continual improvements through observance of systematic processes. We have witnessed the past year with profound changes in the electricity market that aim to brighten the lives of Filipinos. PEMC is at its brighter this year on how it steered the WESM to achieve pivotal reforms. As it enters another decade, WESM will radiate brighter in empowering the lives of others through rationale and transparent pricing of electricity. WESM works.